Self-driving cars. We've all seen one driving through town or even driving down the interstate with no driver paying attention at all. Whether you hate them or think they're the next big thing, self-driving cars are getting bigger and bigger every day, with big car manufacturers that we've all heard of every day getting into the industry, as well as big tech companies that you might not know are getting into the tech industry. First, we will drive through the history of self-driving cars, and then slow down for safety concerns. And then we will cruise through how these self-driving cars are able to drive themselves. First, the history. It is said that the first self-driving car was made in 1977, a lot earlier than many of us may think. It was created in a mechanical engineering lab in Japan, but had many drawbacks, such it could only go 20 miles an hour, and it had to be on a closed course and couldn't do very complicated maneuvers. It drove by following white markers along the road, and that was how it was able to drive itself. The next self-driving car was made in 1980 by a man named Ernest Dickmans. It was able to go 60 miles an hour, but still had to be on a closed course. This car was also not able to do complicated maneuvers like we see self-driving cars doing today. The next self-driving car was made in 1995 by the Pan-European Prometheus project and was the first car that was able to go on roads with other cars. It was able to drive at 110 on the Autobahn, which is a road that has no speed limits, and was able to go with other traffic and do complicated road maneuvers like passing and changing lanes. Then we will go to safety concerns. With self-driving cars, there is less user error involved, meaning that the computers are driving and not the people, which is good for people that aren't very good drivers and get in accidents a lot. According to drivemag.com, Teslas have the highest safety rating out of all the cars. This is showing that even with self-driving features, that these new companies are putting a lot of effort and money into making these cars as safe as they can. Of course, there's going to be outliers in these accidents of self-driving cars getting in accidents, but if you look at the numbers, self-driving cars have much lower numbers than just regular cars on the street. Cameras in self-driving cars also see more than some humans may miss or not see. Like cameras would be able to see in people's blind spots that people can't when they're not looking enough. This will create it safer for roadways. Next, we will go to how they work. It is, according to Trevor English on Interesting Engineering, there are three main technologies that these self-driving cars use, such as cameras, radar, and LiDAR. First, we will look at how the cameras work. Cameras use cameras to identify people and other cars, and they're able to read signs and like stop lights. Next, we will look at radar. Radar uses short radio waves that will bounce off objects around it and come back. This will give the car that's driving itself the speed of other things around it and where it is located in position. Then we have LiDAR. LiDAR is light detection and ranging that is like radar but uses lasers instead of radio waves. It will also show what's around it and allow the car to avoid obstacles. It is said that you should be using all of these three items when making a self-driving car. This way you can get all of the things, because with radar and LiDAR, it can't read signs and read stoplights like cameras can, which would make it safer if you use all three. So thank you, and today we looked at the history of self-driving cars, the safety concern of self-driving cars, and how these self-driving cars can drive themselves.